Okay, I'm back for another cowboy episode, or two or three, as they go on. And I'm gonna familiarize you here with a different kind of short crust. And it's going to employ Meyer lemons again because I have a second bag. And this one is an almond short crust. So I'm gonna have one. Well, my bowl here is getting empty. I'm gonna do 1.5 all-purpose flour. This is gonna be more like the pâte brisée, and because I'm using all cold ingredients. There's half. And then I'm going to do use 1/2 cup of almond flour. Sorry, 1/3. And the thing is, recipe calls for 1/3 cup of almonds. And I've looked it up before, and I know that this has more almond than almonds because of the, when you chop almonds down, the volume goes down. But I'm going to use all of it because I'm also using a little bit more butter. Here's 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're going to whir that together while I get rid of these items. And then we got our freezing cold butter. Just a second. Yes, it's a cowboy show. Okay. I'm going to whir that together. There's no real chopping going on here. My almond flour is already fine. I could call it a meal, almond meal if you like. I have the butter resting in ice water, and we're gonna put that in. Well, actually, I'm just gonna, this should take as few as it should take around 6 minutes total, because it's a very fast way. It's the same way we make pâte brisée like I did last night. It took 6 minutes. Okay, but the reason I have ice water is not just to chill the butter, but it's also part of the process going on. So we're just gonna pulse it. And in this case, we're looking for a sandy texture. I'm not expecting it to fluff up much. Okay. Then we're gonna add 1 egg yolk, large. Pulsing. And then 1 tablespoon freezing cold water, well pulsing. It's coming together, and you shouldn't need more than another. But like I said, I have a little bit more almond in there than. Okay, I'm gonna use another one. The ingredients are dry, and I'm expecting the dough to come together, but it won't form a ball. It's just gonna get nice and, oh, it is forming a ball. See that? So you didn't have to add too much water. So I'll put the cups down the drain, and then we're gonna get our plastic wrap and do that build into a disc for the next stage and refrigerate. You've seen it before. I won't bother you with it. And we're gonna refrigerate that for 30 minutes while I make more Meyer lemon curd. Well, I decided to show you this stage in case you haven't been watching. So I've got my plastic wrap. No need to add flour. That's not coated. This will go get washed. And you just take the almond short crust and press it with the plastic on the side so you don't chill it with your hands, and you don't have to add more flour, which would make it tough and not like crumbly and delicious. And then you can see that didn't take much. We'll wrap it up and then form it, press it into a disc. I'm trying to get it to incorporate into itself. Nice disc. Voila. At the end of the day, I'm gonna make a large rectangle. So perhaps I'll start out slightly oblong, like that. But anyway, that's in the fridge. Lovely, for 30 minutes. Okay, loves. It's been 30 minutes and this thing is not hard as a rock. Previous videos, I had to suffer through the hard as a rock because I left them there in the fridge for too long. But this is the time where you still do the chilled dough method, and therefore I've got my thoroughly cold frozen 1960s thing going on here, rolling pin, as you know. I don't have my little brush, but I do want to be aware of the length of my special Tart tin. This is for effect. It's for beauty. There's no other reason for it. But it's 18 inches long and 4.5 inches wide. So I'm not making a circle. I'm going to move out from the center and get some length. That wasn't too hard. I'm turning, flipping and turning mainly to make sure it's not sticking, and I want to go out from the center. You know, the fact that this is almond crust and that my pan is unusual does not mean I want fat, thick crust. It just means, it simply means, if I find that it's too thick, I will cut the remainder out and just use my eyes. All right, so it feels pretty thin here. I probably won't I won't bother flipping it because I can see it moving and I know it's not really sticking. I can see that my board is too long. When I lift it up to the light, I see that the center, this little segment here, is a little thicker. We want consistency. Before it gets too warm, we're gonna put it in the tray like this, and we're gonna do a blind bake. But you gotta push it down. Did you notice how much I buttered it? I'm not even sure you need to butter it, but I'm not taking any chances. By the way, the bottom is removable, and there's a reason for that. I'll show you in the final result. So instead of, you don't tear at it, you lift. You lift to let it go in. The corners are tricky. Lift. See, I just made an error there with my thumb because I was pressing before lifting. So you need to lift and press. The corners are tricky. I'll go back in there with some of this excess dough. You can see here I didn't get in the corner. That's getting in the corner. And yes, the soundtrack is a cowboy show again. So it's kind of like that show with Joan Collins, except for the terrible people are, I don't know who they are. I can't tell. But some are not nice people. Okay, so see how I'm getting a little bit of the scalloped edge? I'm doing that gently because I don't want to have the heat of my hand make it all slathery. That's easy to do, and in fact my little fingernail just did that for no reason. Okay, so we're just patting, 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 patting. The thickness is about right. Okay, there we go. Where's my, I don't have the sharp knife. I want the sharp knife. Okay, and we're just gonna do this. Okay, slice, slice, slice. When you do this, you're probably dulling your knife. I can hear it cutting. But you don't need to get it. It might shrink. I'm hoping it won't shrink, but it might. You're not gonna get it out if you don't do this, so the shrinkage is acceptable. Quite nice, la la la. Then, see that little piece I missed? I'm gonna throw in a little corner fix. And I'm not gonna worry about it. But I just wanna let you know that I have all this pastry. How many more tarts can I make? Like, this is going on for ages. I still have lemon curd from the last ones. Okay, I need the forks. And I need, okay, fork, 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 fork. But this won't be enough for this one because of the cold butter. I'm gonna need to blind bake it. And that's what this little bally thing is. I measured it beforehand. Oh, I want the temperature up, shoot. I didn't even do this. Okay, so I'm putting the temperature to 375, and because I'm not ready yet for that, I'll put this baby in the freezer, and then we'll cook for, I don't know, I'll check it at 15 minutes. But here again, we're going to use our pie weights. Hold on. That little bit with the screaming will all be cut out in the final videos for YouTube. These are my pie weights. I've been using them for 10 years. They are different kinds of white beans, little lima beans, dried lima beans, dried navy beans. They can be anything. I just want to make sure that they're heavy enough and evenly distributed. Then we'll look at our crust, but I'll be making the rest of the curd, and I need to roll this up for something else. Yes, cowboys, bang bang. Get your locked and loaded. Anyway, my tart's locked and loaded, babies. I'll be right back with you. Okay, so we're in the middle of the blind bake. I forgot to turn my timer on, and I meant to do it blindly for 10 minutes. Now we want to get and I think it's been around 10 minutes. I can see that the shell looks quite nice. Gotta get the beans out. And then it's shrunk a little here, and the bottom's looking a little dull. But that's okay because it goes back in. Where are my gloves? Goes back in for 10 or 15 minutes at 375. The whole point was to keep the original puff. That hot air at 375 likes to puff. And after you've had it in for 10 minutes with the weights, you have a perfect piece of pastry that just needs to be browned a little, just to the edges. You want it to be a light color, not dull, which shows that it's raw. And if you want to hear more swearing, put on another cowboy show. Okay, so this has been around 11 minutes, and the crust looks perfect. Perfect color, perfect shape. This needs to cool down entirely. Not just a little bit, entirely. In the meantime, I'll be making the Meyer lemon curd again, but I'll do it in a different way. Kind of an easier way, I don't know. It still involves hot eggs, tempering, sugar, butter, but there's no cream. And because there's no cream, this version does not have to be baked. So it's a non-baked curd. But I'm finishing it with something that you'll see involves crystallizing. Okay, lovelies. So now we're making the Meyer lemon curd. I have juiced enough for half a cup of lemon juice. And I'm straining out whatever pulp there is. Fun fact, the Meyer lemon's pulp is not bitter. But there's also seeds, right? But it's the only citrus where the pulp is not bitter. Okay, I need that. Again, I'll need that later. And 1 cup of sugar. I have the zest of 2 Meyer lemons. They just arrived from California via a lovely friend. She picked them in her garden. How great is that? And then we're just gonna whisk up the lemon and juice. Don't expect it to dissolve, just get it close. And I'm trying to get this pan, it was boiling, I want it up to a simmer, not a boil. It seems, electric is actually quite tricky. If you have a conduction oven, it's even more tricky. I really haven't mastered that. So I have the lemons. I'm waiting for this to come up to a simmer to make a double boiler in a fashion. And it's, one might want to sieve the egg yolks. These are 6 egg yolks. That means I have 28 egg whites left to use. I'm just going to leave this out for later, but I don't think I'm going to sieve these as this comes to a boil. I'm just going to whisk them in because they are the thickening agent. And something you need to know is that this curd is really a custard with lots of lemon juice instead of cream. And what we're gonna do 2 things. There, it's coming to a simmer. I'll turn it back down, put this on, and we're going to, can you see it? Let's turn this a bit. We're gonna whisk first to get the granules dissolved in the liquids, the sugar granules. That's how you make all kinds of things like Swiss meringues and Swiss meringue for buttercream and obviously custards, puddings, creme anglaise, etc., etc. You have your egg yolks and you touch it with your finger. It's still cold, and you can still feel the granules, which means there's no dissolving going on. Also means my temp isn't, well, it's sort of swimming. There's some steam. So we're just gonna keep doing this until the stage 1, the sugar dissolves. And then stage 2, you switch to the spatula. Well, actually, that's not what you switch to. I use that to fill my tart. But I need a wooden spoon, because we want the pudding texture. Don't leave this very long. I left it for a second. But you don't want scrambled eggs or scrambled egg yolks. So that's what we're gonna do to this baby until it's ready. It should only take about 5 minutes. And I won't waste your time, but I wanna see it thicken. Because after that, we're gonna add this very juicy, well, it's not juicy, but it's full of infused oils of citrus, the zest. And then we're going to put it into our tart and let chill for 2 hours before attempting to brulee the top. I just wanted to make sure everyone realized that it shouldn't be a liquid. It should actually, you should be doing the spoon coating, and see, there's no spoon coating. And that's an old trick from olden days. And it's a test that makes a lot of sense, but it requires a wooden spoon. Okay, so we're gonna keep doing this. I don't know how long I'll do this, but I do want to show you. Okay, no more granules. There's some heat in there, it's not burning me. I will keep going until the eggs thicken the mixture. Remember, that was 6 egg yolks, 1 cup of sugar, half a cup of lemon juice, and I have the zest of 2 lemons. It's actually, I don't know, 2.5 lemons, I guess. I like the flavor, but I don't like lots of bits strewn about. But it will enhance the flavor immensely. I'll be right back when it's time to show you. I want to show you something regarding the curd. You don't want it to bubble. You don't want it to, you know, I've switched out the whisking for stirring because I have a lot of foam here. And that's great for other things, but not great for curd. And we're just looking for a thickness, and we don't want, and you can't see it with all this foam on top. And we just, one of the things we're doing besides thickening, we're also using eggs yolks, which is the part of the egg that could have salmonella. So that's why we cook eggs, and we have to thicken and cook at the same time egg yolks. Egg whites tend not to have that problem, but we cook them one way or another also. I'm trying to see whether I have a curd here. See that? That's the test. And despite the bubbling, these aren't bubbling, it's not boiling, but despite the froth I created, we can tell it's come to the right thickness. Okay, this is gonna be hot and I don't have my gloves. Here we go. Ooh! Okay, wait. I've got my little towel here. And we're not worried about this froth because the next stage is adding the butter. And I have, this is actually quite nice. I can see it. It's quite nice. Oh yeah, it's looking really good. Okay. So I just want to start throwing in the cold butter. This is 1 stick. And it's equal to half a cup. And it's equal to 115 grams. I use grams because of where I am, we do use metric. So this is gonna add creaminess. Keep stirring. Don't let anything look like it's turning into scrambled egg yolks. If you see that, you can use that and strain it again. These very cold pieces of butter are going to give us creaminess, and let's cut it up a bit here with some metal foil, get rid of that. But it's also cooling it down so that we can pour it into our tart shell. Keep stirring. Oh, look what we're getting. We're getting gloss. That's how it's supposed to look. Keep going with the butter. Some of it stuck to the bottom. Get it all 115 grams. Maybe even cut this one in half. I don't know where to put this. Put it in there. Okay, so keep going. Putting in water was dumb, but anyway, so we're going to get the last bits of butter, and we're gonna do all this, and I'm going to be pouring this into my shell soon. Soon as all the butter, well, I'll let it cool down a bit, but we will be pouring it into our shell and letting it chill for 2 hours, and that will make sure that the entire, this is unbaked curd. We already cooked it, so it doesn't have to be baked again, but this should make a nice solid, or let's say firm and creamy, not solid per se. Lovely filling. And the dish is still warm. The butter, I see the last piece. Got it. Now, don't scrape down the sides, you'll get unwanted pieces. I don't think I'll need to use this to strain it into my tart. So, that's a solid yes. See you all at the tart filling stage. Okay, so this is the way we do the uncooked Meyer lemon. I don't think there's too much sugar in there. I just tasted it. Tastes tart and lovely. And we're just gonna fill this so it looks perfect. Got a little bit left, which is nice. And this is gonna go in the fridge to set for 2 hours. See you in 2 hours. Okay, friends, so I wanted to show you how you finish the caramelized Meyer lemon tart. It's one, like most tart shells, it has a bottom, and I took off the sides, and it will eventually come off the bottom, but if you're eating it at home, you don't have to. So I just want to show you the caramelized bit. Also, lemon curd in the tart was meant to stay in the oven the refrigerator for 2 hours to set. It was very late, so I left it overnight uncovered Uncovered is fine for this. The reason being, we're adding crystallized topping, just like you would do with a creme brulee. So we're just gonna try to get it even, covering like that. I don't know if you can see it. I want to get the center even. I want to get the edges even. And it should only take 2 tablespoons, 2 or 3. It's a kind of a long tart, if you noticed, but that means you can easily, try not to touch it. I'm talking and doing this at the same time. You can cut it into long squares for service. And I would probably serve it with something light like whipped cream. I'm not going to show you that tonight because I'm not serving it tonight, and you don't want the whipped cream to get into the, to get loose and then melt into the tart. So I got my torch. I don't fool around. I've tried little torches, little kitchen torches for creme brulee. They don't work for me. Maybe they work for other people. So we're just gonna try not to cook the, let's put it slower. We're gonna try not to fry the pastry. I don't know what's going on. Which way is which? Oh, that's better. Okay. This has a shut off when you go too far horizontal. So try to keep it from going upside down. And yeah, I'm burning the edges a bit. I've been told that if I put my shell upside down over it, oh, gotta turn that off, yikes, that I can prevent burning. So I'll try that. Except for that, this is such a thick outside. I'm gonna try it again. Okay. Oh, not. Okay. So now we're basically caramelizing the tart. That's because it has an automatic shut off for when you're when you're horizontal. So I'm just going to keep doing this till it's finished, and then I'll show you, okay? Thanks.